Today, we're looking at how you can crank up your savings rate while still enjoying this summer. Welcome to Couple Money, a podcast focused on helping spouses get on the same page, dump their debt faster, and get on the path to financial freedom together. I'm your host, Elle Martinez. This podcast is brought to you by Coastal Credit Union. Coastal's mission is to help you live a better life by offering you a better way to bank. Learn how by visiting bankbetter.org. This week in the community newsletter, I asked a question. Can you really save half of your income? Think about that for a second. That's a huge amount. And it's a big question. Why is this an important question to ask? Whether you're paying off debt, saving up to buy a house, start a family, travel, or invest more for your future, all of these goals have something in common. They need money. How much you save of your income can have an incredible impact on how fast you can reach your big financial goals. Now, unless you have a stash of cash in the house or an inheritance coming up, that money is coming out of your budget. Another quick question. Do you know the average savings rate in the U.S. right now? Take a guess. It's around 6%. And as you're probably figuring out, that is not going to cut it if you want to knock out any of those big money goals soon. There's no way around it. If you want to hit these goals fairly quickly, you have to master the art of saving. But half your income, that's a bit much, right? Don't let anyone tell you that's not a huge deal, because it is. And it's not going to happen overnight. However, it is possible to start working on bumping up that savings rate. And one of my goals is getting you to double yours. We're bringing back the summer of savings. I want this summer to be your best ever. Today on the podcast and throughout the season on the site, I'll be sharing strategies to help you grow your stash while still enjoying things. In this episode, we'll discuss a simple path to notching up your savings rate, psychological hacks to help you save more, and tools that are out there to make your life much easier. Oh, and stay tuned until the end because we're also bringing back the Summer of Savings giveaway. Let's get started. All right, when you're dealing with this big goal, doubling your savings rate. For some of you might want to try to save half your income. I have some good news and some bad news. Okay, the bad news is there's no secret formula to doubling your savings rate. The good news is there's no secret formula to doubling your savings rate. There is a process that you can use, that couples have used to save significant amounts of their money. And we've had quite a few guests share how they did that. We've had Matt and his wife who are from Chicago. They saved more than half their income. Jamila and her husband live in New York City, a very expensive town for many, and they were able to save over $80,000 in a year. So there is a process that helps, that works, and it does take effort, but it's something that you can do and you can adjust according to your goals and your personalities. So here it is in 5 steps. The first one is figure out your numbers. Second step is find ways to cut expenses while still living like a regular person. 3 is find ways to earn more money. 4 is make your money work as hard as you do. And 5 is set it and forget it. Now, we're going to go and break each of these steps down. But if you've been listening to the podcast, you probably already know what I'm going to say next. Before we get into the how, whether it's optimizing expenses or trying to earn more, the two of you really need to focus and nail down your why. Why are you trying to save half of your income or doubling your savings rate? What do you two want to do with that money? The reason I want you to be clear on that is because even though this process is straightforward and on paper it is simple, it is not easy. You're going to be making choices that, yes, will bring you closer to your goals, but it's probably going to be different than a lot of your friends. You may have friends that are constantly eating out or taking care of these expenses that you no longer have, and it feels weird being different. And sometimes it is discouraging. You feel like you're the only people doing this plan, but you're not alone, and it is for something. So when you nail down your why this is so important to you, why do you want to save, then it's easier to follow through on the how. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this a little bit more. So the first step in this process is finding your numbers. You have to start somewhere. You can't double your savings rate. You can't save half your income unless, one, you know exactly what you're taking home, and then exactly how much are you saving now. And there are plenty of ways you can do this. There are actually some fantastic apps, many of them free, some of them very low cost, that will pull the numbers for you. A few of my favorites right now are Personal Capital, Mint, Tiller, and Zeta. So it takes about, I'd say, 20 minutes to set this up. But what's great is once it's set up, you're done. You can easily log in and get a quick snapshot of what's coming in, what you're spending on, and how much you're saving. And once you have those numbers in front of you, you can set a goal for your savings rate. And this honestly is going to be different for each of us. Where are we currently? Where do we want to go? What are our goals? If you're not a saver naturally, start off small, see what you can do with 5%, notch it up to 10%. Many financial planners that I talk to say at a minimum, you should be saving 15% of your income. Now, if you have huge goals like financial independence and freedom, you're definitely going to have to kick that up to 30, 40, even 50%. But wherever you are, start there and then increase and notch it up. So then the next step is finding ways to cut your expenses. And really it's about optimizing. I don't like to use the word slashing or cutting expenses, but I think people are familiar with that. But a way to optimize your expenses while living like a regular person. And there's two big things I want to talk about. The first one is when you're talking about the art of saving and you're looking for how you're going to spend your time and what bills to go for. One, I want you to focus on the big wins. I want you to look at the big expenses that are eating a ton of your money. Now, for most families, the three biggest expenses is housing, transportation, and food. So I will say the first two are really big wins, but at the same time, they're really big changes. And depending on the timing, you might not immediately be able to save. I'm actually going to have separate episodes for this. I have an upcoming episode about buying a house and finding those hidden gems. And I also have an interview that's going to be coming up on our YouTube channel from a rental expert about how to negotiate when it's time to renew your lease and how to hunt for the best apartment deals. So I'm going to put a pin on those and push that to the side because they deserve their own episodes. So let's tackle some expenses that you can work on this month. And we'll start off with food. While we all need to have groceries to feed ourselves, the number one problem I see with couples having on their food bill is that they pay a premium for convenience. And not only is that expensive, but it can be bad for our health. So here are 4 stress-free ways to slash your food bill. The first one is planning your meals for the week. Now, if you love planning in detail, go for it. But for most couples I talk to, that's just not going to work. And you don't have to have a very detailed meal plan. You just have to have a list of what you're planning to have each day. Do you want tacos? Do you want pizza? Are you looking for a stir fry, salad? Whatever it is, jot that down. That's going to help you because when you go grocery shopping, you have that list in front of you and you're not tempted by whatever's on display and thinking, oh, that'd be a great meal, because making a decision at the grocery store usually means that you're paying more. And then a second step is go ahead and prep a meal or two. Now, it sounds like I'm asking you to do work, but I'm not. Actually, this is something simple that you can do if you have a pressure or a slow cooker. You can actually make some meals while you're relaxing during the weekend or, at home taking care of some things. Dishes like chilies are easy to make. Stews, you can put that in the crock pot. Pastas, pot roast, stuffed peppers, whatever you want. And then this is something that's simple that once it's done, you can put it in the freezer as a quick go-to meal. The third key to making this work is going international with your flavors and your dishes. I know we all have comfort foods, things we grew up with and we know and love to eat. However, you can have some incredible meals on the cheap, the same stuff that you get at restaurants, by looking at different cuisines that are out there. A few years ago, I chatted with early retiree Justin from Rooted Good, and he told me about some great dishes that you can do by going Thai. And once you have these ingredients and you've gone grocery shopping and you know the basics of the recipes, it is so easy to prepare them. He actually described it as hamburger helper easy. So go beyond what you usually like to eat and make sure that you explore your options. And then finally, accept that you're going to have those days. You know what? We all have nights where we come home, we're absolutely tired. We don't want to cook. We just want something made. So go ahead, pull out either the crock pot dish that you had made and that's in the freezer, or even get frozen pizzas as a stock up for your freezer for those nights. It's okay. Yes, it would be better to do homemade meals all the time from scratch, but you know what? Let's not let perfect be the enemy of good. Some other areas in your budget I want you to look at is those reoccurring expenses. Because when you negotiate a better deal, you're saving month by month. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about things like your cable and your internet. They love to advertise the bundle deal, but have you really run the numbers and see what's the best option for you? We were able to save about half of our cable and internet bill by dropping the cable and having options like Netflix and Hulu. Another area to look at are your cell phones. Nope, I'm not telling you to give it up. I love my smartphone. It's an incredible tool that I use every day. I don't, however, want to pay a premium for it. There's some fantastic alternatives to the big carriers. Some popular ones that you should check out: Republic Wireless, Ting, and Google Fi. They're going to give you the service and the phones you love without the high price tag. And if you're not a big smartphone user, or maybe you want to get something for the kids, but you don't want to pay a ton of money for that extra line, Freedom Pop has some incredible deals too. This next category of bills, this is something that we do about once a year. We check. It's not exciting, but we have been able to save considerable amounts of money. I had one year where I saved $1,000. Do you know what this was? It's our insurance, our car insurance and our home insurance. Doesn't sound like an exciting afternoon, and to be honest, it isn't, but it really doesn't take long for you to save some big bucks. We've been able to knock down our premiums by half sometimes when we have switched providers. And once you get into this, and this is your schedule you do once a year, this is something that will pay you back. If you save even $50 a month, that is an extra $600 in your pocket. And then if you're parents, I just want to mention that kids' clothes can be their own expense. And if your little ones are like ours, I mean, they're growing like weeds, chances are that you might have a chunk of your monthly budget just constantly going towards keeping them dressed in clothes that fit. If you're looking for a simple and easy way to shop that's pretty fast, almost as easy as Amazon, go ahead and use ThredUp. It's a consignment store that's online. You can find high quality clothes for your kids at ridiculously low prices. And if you already have an Amazon account, you can use that to pay for it. We love it. We use it. We have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And so they are always going through clothes. This has definitely saved us a ton of money. And then the next step of the process is finding ways to make more money. Optimizing your expenses, crucial. Absolutely important to make sure that you're getting a good deal. But it's only part of the process. Making more money absolutely can help you reach your financial goals quicker. Now, I know on the internet they love to talk about side hustles, and they are fantastic with boosting your income, trying something different, and working around your schedule, but that's not your only option. It is more work, and if you're like us, negotiation sometimes seems difficult, but it's absolutely crucial that you get better at negotiating with your current job. you want to make sure that you're getting a competitive salary. And sometimes that means switching companies, switching positions. And yes, down the line, it might mean moving to get a better job offer. This is something that won't be taken care of right away, but I want to mention it because this has been a common thread with a lot of people that have saved significant amounts of money. I'm talking closer towards half the income is because they were able to increase their income without increasing their lifestyle. And yes, their 9 to 5, they were able to find either a better company that fit them or a better position that worked for them. So it will take research, but you want to make sure that you prepare ahead of time so you can present your case, show what value you're adding to the company, and make sure you're getting the corresponding pay. The next step in this process is making sure that your money is working as hard as you do. So this is important because when you are stashing away that money, you do not want to have your bank nickeling, diming you, getting fees because you're not having a minimum, or they're just not giving you an interest rate that's earning you anything. So find a bank or a credit union that has competitive rates. And of course, we have Coastal as a sponsor. That's definitely an option if you're locally here in the Raleigh area. But I want you to just shop around. Make sure that your banking options are working for you. And then finally, the set it and forget it. Automating your system. I cannot say this enough. This is very important because many of us are just busy. We're taking care of everything, and it is easy to forget to make those transfers. So one of the best pieces of advice I can give you is automate as much as you can. If you decide that you guys can save an extra $100 a paycheck or a month, or if you can save $500 a month or whatever number you choose, treat it like a bill and schedule it. Make sure you're paying yourself first. And that's it. It is a process, but this process has helped couples save much more money than they were before. And depending on your situation, you may hone in on certain areas more than others. Maybe you find that cutting expenses, that's kind of the low-hanging fruit, the big wins that you can get now. Or some of you may find that earning extra money, whether it's negotiating with your job or doing some side hustles, even temporarily, that gives you the wins that you need. Again, the process on paper seems simple, but it's not always easy. And something that's helped us, and this might help you as well, is having a community. Yes, the two of you having those regular money dates, keeping each other accountable is helpful, but then also getting in contact with others in your area or even online to motivate you, to encourage you, to swap stories about what works for them and what doesn't. That can help you stay motivated and make sure that you make your savings goals. I'd love to help you guys out with reaching your savings goal. So please tag me on social media at Couple Money or email me and let me know how much you're trying to save this summer. I wish you well. This segment is brought to you by Coastal Credit Union. If you're looking for better options with banking, please check out Coastal. They have some competitive rates, especially with their savings account. You can find out more at bankbetter.org. Before we wrap up, I want to focus on some key strategies that helped us with cranking up our savings rate. The first one is make it a game and have rewards for it. Saving more is definitely a money savvy move. But the reality is when you're saving, you're going to have to make some choices on what you cut back on and what you optimize. And that means staying motivated. So something that's helped us is to gamify it, have monthly challenges, have milestones, and of course, have rewards for when you reach them. By making it a game, by keeping it fun and reminding yourselves of why you're doing it, it'll keep you motivated to reach your goal. The second critical strategy is automate your money. Once the two of you have come up with your plan, you know where you're going to save, go ahead and schedule those transfers into your savings account. Willpower is helpful, but it is not perfect. And at the end of the day, we all suffer from decision fatigue. We might have a long day and forget to do the transfer manually. So go ahead and set that up. You can go with your bank. It should be free, and make sure you move your money to savings. You know, we have Coastal sponsoring us, so I just want to mention where you bank matters. Make sure it is a competitive interest rate with your savings account. Now, we do have a savings account with Coastal and we're really happy with the rates, but whomever you decide to bank with, make sure that you're earning money on top of what you're saving. You should feel comfortable with your banking option being a partner rather than just nickel and diming you with fees. And finally, please make sure that some of your savings goes towards things that you enjoy and love. Whether it's trips, hobbies, helping other people, it doesn't matter. The point is, saving is a tool to help you reach your goals, and some of your goals should definitely include things that you enjoy and absolutely love. I hope these tips help you guys reach your savings goals. If you want to learn more about how to save and optimize your budget, maybe earn a little more on the side, please join us in our private and free Facebook group, Thriving Families. We're a supportive community. We love swapping ideas and stories with each other, and you can find us over at couplemoney.com/FB. We hope to see you there. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I want you to win, save more, and still have some fun this summer. As always, I'll have links in the show notes to the resources we mentioned today, as well as a bonus. We're going to kick off the Summer of Saving series and celebrate the upcoming 2nd anniversary of my book, Jumpstart Your Marriage and Your Money, by doing a giveaway. If you're already a part of the community and get our weekly newsletter, you'll be getting an email this weekend with all the details, but don't worry, you already entered. And if you haven't joined, please do. Not only can you enter, but you can get our free course, 5 Days to 5K, which is going to take you step by step on how you can find, save, and earn more money for your goals. Again, I like to focus on the big wins, so that is a series you can do at your own pace, and it's completely free. You can sign up at couplemoney.com/5K. I'd love for you to join us and save more this summer. Our theme song was written by Gentle Regime, additional music by Lee Rosevere. And I just want to close things off by saying thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. I love getting your questions. I'm really excited about this summer series. You guys so far have gotten some really good questions in, and we're going to include them in this series. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care.